What's up, guys? Look, I know it's been a minute, but guess what? I'm back. So let's get right into it. As you can see, I have this simple glam look with a pop of color, which is my favorite. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve this look. Just keep on watching. First, I had did like this, then I had did like that, and then I had did like this. Look, I'm joking. No, seriously, let's get into it. All right, I like to do my foundation starting off in the middle center of my forehead because I can get really close by my brows and everything and not mess it up once I fill it in. Then I'm going here with my contour from my contour cream palette, as you just saw, which is by Ruby Kiss. Why ain't nobody tell me about that palette first and foremost? It's my absolute favorite, but we'll get into that later. So I'm just framing my face with the contour here, and now I'm going back and setting the lighter area in the center part of my forehead with my powder foundation. I use a powder foundation, but you can use a sheer press powder or whatever you use to set your actual foundation. So I went and did that, made sure it was blended. Now I'm going in with the Got to Be Glue hair gel. Yes, y'all. This is so good for the brows because guess what? It lays them down so smooth. They don't move. They stay in place. They not all, you know, have your wild hairs all over the place. You can't fill in your brows properly, or they just get all messy throughout the day. So this here is going to be your best friend. It's my absolute favorite. So what I'm doing is just using a little spoolie tip and brushing the brow down. Now I got to make sure they dry, but I'm going to skip the brow part for now and let that fully dry. And I'm going to start with the rest of my foundation. So here I'm using the Estee Lauder foundation, which is my absolute favorite. It's a medium to full coverage. And so I'm using a buffer brush from the On Cue Makeup brush set and just buffing that foundation right in. I skipped the part where I did my skincare as far as like moisturizer and primer, which I don't use a lot of that anyway, if y'all know from previous videos. But here I'm buffing in that foundation, making sure everything is even. I like the yellow tone to it because once I put my powder and everything else on, it's going to give me the perfect color that I'm looking for. That'll be, my perfect shade, because once you put the powder and your contour and highlight and all that on, you still want to have your natural color to show. Now I'm going back in with my contour palette, and the same thing that I used to contour my forehead, I'm using to contour by my cheekbones and by my jawline, just to make everything, just to give that shape and structure back to your face. This part here, as you can see, I'm using a smaller, flatter brush, something more dense, because I want to take my time and really create that line, that contour line, alongside the bridge of my nose to give my nose that more pointy, defined look. Even though you see me going fast here, that's because I sped up the video a little bit for time purposes, but I'm really, really taking my time contouring and carving out my nose bone, because I don't want it to be too sharp. I don't want it to be, too strong. But the way I'm doing it now, I'll be able to go back in and properly blend it. But right now, I'm just worried about creating the right perfect shape. As you can see, I'm blending in the lighter part, which goes in the inside of the contour. So that's me actually highlighting my nose bone. Putting that in there, making sure it's blended. So here I went back with my foundation and I put just a little bit on my blender. So to blend those darker contour lines, use your foundation and just press in those areas until it blends. It's not going to be fully blended yet, but it's going to get the job done for what we need right now. So as you can see, my contour lines are a little bit softer. Here I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal, another one of my favorites. When I tell you in my kit, as you guys know, I work in TV and film as well. So, I have certain higher end products and things like that that I use for those clients. But when I tell you my LA Girl is my best friend, like I love those concealers. So that's why you'll see me continuously use that concealer. I'll use some other stuff just to kind of like show you guys options, but it's one of my favorites. So here I'm just blending that out now, what I put in. I'm blending it in those tight areas with my sponge. I'm making sure the end part of my inside tear duct part of my eye is concealed as well. And you just blend, 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 tap, tap, tap until it's blended seamlessly. Now I'm adding my pressed powder, just a sheer pressed powder. Well, no, that's the powder foundation again. That's a personal preference, but it can be any powder that you want. And I'm just trying to set underneath my eyes because I don't want it to crease or anything like that. So I'm gonna make sure that set it right away. Now I'm going in with my contour powder, which is a powder I got from MAC. It's called Blunt. It's a blush from there, but it works great as a contour. And so I'm just going to touch up those areas that I did with the cream contour. Here I'm going in with my bronzer. I'm putting it on right there on my cheekbones. And you see how I'm kind of brushing it all over? That's because I'm really blending in that contour as well. Now I'm going to go in and add some color, just some pinky flesh tone color on my cheeks on top of the bronzer area. Now I'm just doing my pressed powder all over, kind of like blending everything in, setting everything, and just putting that powder all over with a loose fluffy brush because I don't want too much of a coverage. Now you can see how I'm sketching my brows in with the brow pencil that I got from Sephora, which is another one of my favorites. I use it in both kits. But you see, as I'm brushing, as I'm filling in my brows, I'm lightly doing it. And then my brow hairs are staying in place, like they're not moving. So that's one of the benefits of using a got2b glue gel or even a brow gel that's really going to lay those hairs down. It makes it so much easier to fill in your brows and not messing up the hairs. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm really lightly filling in my brows. You know, I don't care how long it takes, but I'm just going to lightly feather them because I don't want any dark, harsh lines. And I still want my brows to look, you know, kind of airy, natural, and just, you know, just a clean brow. Now I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever foundation slash concealer palette. And I like this palette because they have all the different colors that I can use to conceal areas or even, you know, just filling in my brow, well, outlining my brow. So right now I'm going with a color that's like 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. And as you can see, I'm not putting it really at the end of my brow, but right there in the middle where that arch go. Now I'm going in with a darker color to outline the front part of my brow because I want that part to look natural and not too highlighted. So I'm going to end and begin my brow with a darker color that's more of my complexion. Now I'm taking a little fluffier, just a little bit more of a fluffier brush and blending the edges of that concealer just to make it look more natural because of course we don't want any harsh lines. So now I'm using my LA Girl concealer and I'm concealing the rest of my eye. When I do my eyeshadow, I like my eye to have a smooth, flat finish. Like I want a flat base to start with, if that makes sense. So I'm going to conceal my whole eye and blend it in with the concealer that I use to highlight my brow. That color that I'm using is something that is matches my skin tone, so it's the exact color. So now I'm going in with a smaller brush just to get closer to that contour and keep that clean and also blend that out as well. Now I'm just setting it. I always say this, but a lot of people miss. Every time you use a liquid or a cream, foundation, a concealer, always set it with a powder. Regardless of whatever powder you choose to use, set it with a powder. So once I've done that, now I'm going to go with my Morph eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use a color that's probably like a shade darker than my skin tone, just to create that buffer color, that, well, using a buffer color just to create some dimension in my eye. So now I'm buffing right in the crease area. Now I'm going with a lighter color just to kind of like highlight my tear duct. I'm not going to use too much of it, but I want something that just kind of opens my eye in the inner corner. Now I'm going to go with a darker brown color and go right in the corner crease of my eye, if you can see. Now, if you're really closely paying attention, I'm not going higher than that buffer color. I always call my buffer color slash transition color my guideline. I know not to go higher than that color, and any other shadows that I put on, I make sure they're below that buffer color slash transition color. Here I wanted to do a pop of color, so I did this burgundy that was in the palette, and it's a really pretty color. It's matte, so it's going to give me the pop that I want for this look. And as you can see, I winged it out a little bit just to kind of elongate my eye. Now look at this eyeliner here. My absolute favorite is Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid eyeliner. Works perfectly. I can get a sharp line. It's always super precise, so it's so much easier to work with. I know it looked like I'm moving fast, but I'm really not. I just sped up the video. And I'm just really taking my time, piece by piece, sketching out that line. Now I'm going to use this brown gel liner by Ruby Kiss, another one of my favorites, with a small stiff angle brush. And I'm just going to put that liner right in my brow, in my waterline. I'm using a brown because I really want my burgundy to pop, and I don't want to do, too harsh. So, and I still want my look to be soft. So that's why I'm using a brown liner with that. Now, as you can see, I'm putting on my mascara. It's a Givenchy mascara. I actually like this because I like that rounded tip that's on the brush. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right here in this video, but excuse me. Up there we go. My bad. Those kids never give you a break. Oh my God. All right, so cool. So now I'm doing my lip liner. It's a Jacqueline pencil. I think I got it from Marv. Absolutely love it. Perfect brown for my complexion. It's about 2 shades darker than me. I like to use 2 shades with a lot because you see I mentioned it in, talking about my concealer as well as my eyeshadow color, but 2 shades darker always give you definition, but it still keep it natural at the same time. So anytime picking a brown, if you do 2 shades darker, you're staying in the neutral space. So as you can see, I'm overdrawing my lips just a little bit because I want to give, more of a fuller lip, more of a pout, especially for the ombre lip that I'm going for. Yes, I'm taking my time with this part because lips really do matter. If you have a perfect lip, like it makes all the difference in the world. So when it comes to my lips, I definitely take my time, especially when doing the ombre lip and using lip liner. You always want to just take your time to perfect that lip, if anything. Now, as you can see, I'm blending in because when I draw my lip liner, I don't just draw that line. I blend it in so it can make it easier when I'm doing my ombre lip so it can all blend together. So start by blending your lip liner. I hate when I see people with that harsh line, like they don't blend. I don't know why they do that, but to each his own, but you don't do that. So I don't know. Anyway, this is the Nikita Dragon Liquid Matte Lipstick that I'm using. This is one of my favorites too because it's the perfect nude for me. It gives me the right look that I want for my ombre lips. So now I'm just using a brush just to blend it in with my lip liner so it can give me that seamless ombre effect. Now I'm going to do the same thing, with the top. Blend, blend, blend. blend some more. Now I'm going in with my NYX. This is Milk Lip Gloss. This is a really cool nude lip gloss as well. And as you can see, I'm just putting it in the center part of my lips. I want to keep my lip liner matte. So that's why I really don't want my gloss on it. But we're just going to blend it into it just a little bit. All right, now I'm about to add some lashes, and that is it. That is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If this is on YouTube, please comment, like, and subscribe. And definitely let me know what you thought about this look. And until next time, bye guys.